Alright, I think we're good to go. Welcome, pnglink.exe.
Welcome to the PNG link. Yes, you did click this video from, some shady website. Now you're here. Hello, good to have you. You'll regret coming here.
Suffer.
Suffer with us. No, you did not click on the shady website. No, unless you count YouTube as a shady website, which, I mean...
Don't give it away!
Don't give it away. Not the trade secret.
The trade secrets, keep them to yourself.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. YouTube is actually an incredibly shady website, but it's the internet. So would that surprise anybody? Probably not.
Well, what do we got today? Well, we've got a little bit of the continuation of the state of play from last week.
Got a continuation of the video from last week, so you could technically consider this part 2 to last week's video, a follow-up video, where we actually figure out what the heck that state of play was.
Yes.
And it was just about one game, which
is interesting.
Wow, it's interesting.
Interesting.
But first, a word from our sponsor, Smuckers. No, I'm kidding. But if you want to sponsor Smuckers, I would not be against that.
You want to sponsor us? We could be good deal. Make good deals with you. Good deals.
Freaking radio show. And now, a word from our sponsor. Do you feel tired every day? Do you feel like you're running out of energy? Try Vitasol, the one drink that'll give you a pep ton of energy. Warning, may cause heart attack.
Warning, you will not do as well as you think. Time is required.
Freaking old radio shows or freaking old TV shows from back in the day where they're like, and now cut to commercial, freaking curtain would come down, some dude would come out with like a freaking cigarette and or something like that and be like, freaking, yes, condensed milk. Does your family need more condensed milk? Mine does. Try condensed milk by Vitasol. Now, less than 10 cents off. Or something to that degree.
Somewhere around there.
Something like that.
So,
anyways,
we're going to be talking about the state of play, but a quick little side note. There's actually been a little bit of recent news going on with YouTube and Bungie itself, where YouTube videos revolving around Bungie and Bungie content was getting copyright striked and in some cases taken down for a little bit. For the most part, it should be resolved now, and things should be getting a little better. Things should be getting back on track and not, falling apart or anything. But for a little... Hopefully. But for a little while there, things were looking a little concerning. Main reason I am wanting to bring this up is because this is something that can honestly happen to any company at any moment. Primarily because of how the copyright system is set up on YouTube and a few other platforms that follow suit with it. So,
like Vine. Who remembers Vine?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Oh God.
Dig up that old corpse.
That just like
rigor mortis on that one.
Like, I'm old.
Who remembers Vine, kids?
But
what's Vine? But anyway.
But yeah, no. The reason why to me that's a little important is because of the fact that there's honestly not much of a verification type of system for people who make a copyright claim on content on behalf of a copyright holder or on behalf of themselves.
You can just be like, I own this property because I said so.
Yes, because here's the thing. Bungie stated multiple times and have kind of shown that they are not the ones that were claiming content, and they're not the ones who were going and striking people and removing their content and whatnot like that. So it's interesting to see what was going on because obviously a third party was involved, and some people were going and claiming that it was one of the copyright companies that were going and helping Bungie by going and keeping their copyright material safe. But it wasn't
they
that
suck at
company.
their job.
Well, yeah, but yeah, clearly it wasn't them because even they were like, no, we are not involved with this. We're not even doing this. We're trying to figure out who is, but they were like trying to help people out and get them out of the predicament that they were in. So it's interesting to see what's going on that. But it's the main problem is the fact that almost anyone, even us, could go to any video, put out a copyright claim for whatever X reason, and then say that we own it, but not actually own it. And that's a little bit of a problem down the line as things continue, as more companies go and kind of branch out into YouTube and more people go and, you know,
Everyone has a freaking
explore.
YouTube account every day. It's like
Yes.
everyone and their mother now has one. I mean, we have one.
Like
So, you know,
even Bungie videos itself are getting strict, and that says something when their own official videos are being hit. Like,
I mean, in fairness, that is mildly humorous to some degree.
it is
Going to a Bungie video only to find out that it has been taken down and copyright strike by Bungie themselves. They've essentially
there's a strange bit of
themselves.
irony going on with it, but
Yeah. But it is not good. Not good.
no, it's not a healthy thing to kind of have something looming over top of you that at any moment your content can get removed because someone just feels like they want to copyright strike you.
I mean,
It's
let's
a
be
little
honest.
concerning.
YouTubers have enough access. I mean, let's be honest. YouTubers have enough existential dread to worry about as is with this not even being a stable platform. So there's that.
Yeah.
But don't give them something else to worry about. Whoever you are, you troll.
No, that's the interesting thing about this kind of incident is that in
It
some
feels like a
cases
troll,
it
but it
feels
feels
like
like
a yeah, in some cases it feels like a troll, but in other cases it's a little too widespread to be a troll. That's the weird thing about it is like it feels like a very 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 bad, like not bad as in oh this is tasteless, this is bad as in this is a failure to trolls everywhere. Like if this is a troll,
Though in fairness, it's also tasteless.
it is tasteless, yes, but it's also a failure if it is someone trying to troll, which is kind of the reason why I think it was some kind of weird type of attack type of thing towards Bungie.
Just says a lot because he's a troll.
Yes, in an interesting way, but I'm a troll when I'm playing video games, not a troll of yes.
And he admits it, ladies and gentlemen. He admits it on live television.
There is a big difference between I'm going to go and take away your income and I'm going to go and make you unhappy in a video game for 5 minutes until we both go our separate ways. There's a big difference.
This is a man who will sit there and is like, I want to make a 6-year-old cry. Goes on to like freaking.
I mean, I'm just saying, if a 6-year-old is playing a video game that they really shouldn't be, that's their fault. Like no one should be letting this 6-year-old be here. You should go play literally any other game that's better for you. Go play Minecraft or something. That's good for you. Okay, good
now
game.
We really
go play better game.
Freaking recommending that. Now we really sound old. There's gonna come a time when someone mentions Minecraft and I'm like, what's a Minecraft? That's when we both know we're officially old ass men.
No, in another 20, 30 years, we're gonna be like, oh, Minecraft? Block game. Block game.
You remember Minecraft? Oh, the block game with the pickaxe.
Big textures. Ooh.
Big textures. Shut up, Grandpa. Let me go back to like my freaking.
Yes, Grandpa. I understand. Yes, Grandpa. I understand. Now let me go back to this 30th 5 consecutive battle royale in a row game.
Let me go back to COD 945.
Yes, but
God. That's a future that very likely could and will probably exist
down the line. But frankly, I just wanted to bring this up because this is something that can honestly happen to anyone, to any company. And it's kind of proof of that concept of the fact that at any moment, any company could just be like, yes, we're stricken down. Our video can no longer be viewed, and for those who are making money off of YouTube, and in some cases live off of the money they earn from YouTube, yeah, Yeah.
I
That
mean, it could very
sucks.
easily ruin a livelihood, which, I mean, yeah. In all
Which
seriousness, it is
goes to my side point of, if you are living off of YouTube revenue, please don't.
I mean, unless you're really
You're gonna make,
popular.
like, unless you're making like 30 videos a day, you're not making as much money as you'd probably need. And
I mean,
that
in most
extra
cases,
money
people
is
do
kind
decent.
of good for you if you go and have another job to help you out.
I mean, in
But
some cases, I mean, unless if you're doing pretty good, that's fine and everything.
yes,
But I mean,
like,
come
you
on, don't
need to
mess with people's
have,
livelihoods.
yeah, yeah, like, no matter what,
At the end of the day,
any
regardless.
form of money income, you really shouldn't be messing with that, because that's
Yeah, these people,
like, the side note, this goes to like the philosophy of our universe at the moment, our world that we live in. We kind of live in this type of gone from survival of food, shelter, and water to, if you want food, shelter, and water, you require this new resource called money. Like, we've changed the game of survival for humanity in such a way that we compete with ourselves even more than we naturally would be. So, don't take people's money. Don't.
yeah, don't mess with people's income, man. That's
It's just,
that's no good.
it don't end well. It don't end well. Anyways,
Anyway, side
away
tant over.
from money from one topic and towards money on another topic.
He
The
wanted to
state of
cover the
play for
topic. I
Hogwarts.
agreed. It's a
Money.
good topic, though.
Yes.
But yeah, no. All seriousness, don't mess with people's livelihoods, man. If you're
No.
behind this, just stop. It's not gonna go well. It's not gonna go well.
No. Don't copyright strike people's stuff every 5 minutes.
I
Because
mean, yeah,
frankly, you can be sued for that, and it would cost you money. And, well, yeah, it doesn't end well.
yeah.
Anyways, let's go to
Back on a more cheery topic.
go towards the state of play. Their earning of money for Hogwarts.
Yeah. Expelliarmus over to this topic. Sorry, I had to do that. That's just terrible transition aside.
Bad
Bad transition aside.
Bad spell
Bad-
choice.
bad
Bad spell choice. Incorrect spell.
I know.
Bad
I'm not
wizard.
Harry Potter. Bad wizard, back into your box.
Go back to school.
Back to school. But speaking of school, Hogwarts Legacy. I did get a good transition there. I think, at least.
Perhaps.
I'm trying here. But so today we're going to be talking about this is the main topic of the show. Hogwarts Legacy. So, as we mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is kind of a part 2 follow-up to last week's show, where we mentioned that there was a state of play as of the time of that show's recording that was happening the day after, so Thursday. That was headline for Hogwarts Legacy. Personally, I thought it was going to majorly be about Hogwarts Legacy, like the key focal point of the show, but turns out I was wrong. It was all of the show, in fact. Though that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it wasn't just like here, look at this, it's kind of like what Xbox did a little bit for what was it? Not Forza, what was that big car game? One for, I can't remember its name now. Anyways, where they were kind of using it as the focal point of marketing for a little bit, which shows you the company really kind of puts some. I mean, it does show a lot of faith from a company standpoint to have an entire press conference dedicated to one game.
Yes.
And it's not even like one of their crowning jewels in the case of Sony, where it's like the next Horizon Zero Dawn, which, considering the last one only came out a few months back, would kind of be weird at this point. It's like, hey, number 3! Number 2 hasn't been out by freaking 3 months yet. There's already number 3, or the next Ratchet and Clank or something like that. It does show a lot of faith on part of a company. Either that or their desperation, one of the two. Though it does feel more faith in this case for Sony.
Yeah.
Though maybe a little desperation too, because
it's
TLDR, their calendar looks pretty empty throughout the year. Well, okay, that's not entirely right. Ghostwire Tokyo, I can't remember which way it's pronounced, is coming out next month. So that's a thing. ironic how it's coming out of Bethesda now that Bethesda is owned by Microsoft. But again, Bethesda agreed to honor all previous arrangements, so that game's still coming out on PlayStation, as well as Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which is multi-platform, true, but it's something to look forward to, as well as a few others. But for the most part, it seems the calendar is going to be pretty barren for 2022, as was 2021. So most games that were revealed, for example, in the showcase the week prior, were scheduled to release 2023 sometime, if not like end of the year 2022. So expect this to be another dead year, ladies and gentlemen. It feels like this is going to be another dry one.
Well, I mean, weren't there some games that were planned to come out this year?
There are some games that were planned to come out this year. I believe the new Final Fantasy actually comes out sometime this year as well, actually, now I think about it. So there are a few things coming out.
So there's some stuff to look forward to if you're interested.
And it's not an entirely dry year. There's going to be a few things to judge by the end of the year, but it's not going to be a pretty heavy content year, at least not in the beginning and the middle, maybe near the end.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us all the way back to Hogwarts Legacy. I want to make another magic joke, but I don't know if the spells from Harry Potter to do it. Oh well. That's
Expelliarmus.
Anyways.
Yourself.
Expelliarmus. Frickin' Aguamenti. That's for the frickin' water one. I'm trying. But anyways. So that brings us back to Hogwarts Legacy. This one's an interesting game too, because this was actually a game that was revealed all the way back 2 years ago when the PlayStation 5 first came out. It was one of the first games they revealed to come out with the PS5. Well, not come out with the PS5. When the PS5 first dropped, there was a whole bunch of trailers that were revealed along with it. In these trailers, we got Forspoken, which I believe is also coming out soon. Also in March, interestingly enough, or April, my bad. Or maybe May, I'm not sure. But anyways, we got things like Forspoken, Elden Ring was also revealed around this time, I believe, to begin with. As well as a few others. I believe Returnal was also revealed around this time as well. So, games that were revealed near the beginning of the PS5's lifespan. Now, obviously, not all of them came out near the PS5's lifespan. Elden Ring's only been out for, 4 or 5 months now? Not even that.
And it's going.
2 months? Yeah, 2 months. Yeah. Returnal was out during the beginning of the PS5's lifespan. Yes. Forspoken has still not come out. I believe that's coming out within the next few months. And of course, there was Hogwarts Legacy, which had a massive trailer that just basically was it exists, and here's some cinematic stuff that was rendered in engine. But there wasn't any official thing. That's just to be continued kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of high hopes for this one because from what it was promising, I really want this to be as I keep saying, I really want this to be Persona Harry Potter style. For those who don't know, because I feel like the Persona games do a really good job of striking that kind of real world, other world balance, or other school life, regular life balance, which from what I've been shown kind of looks like what Hogwarts Legacy is trying to attend. There's this whole plot going on, but you also have to attend your time at Hogwarts and be a good student, go between your classes, da-da-da-da-da.
Be a good student.
Be the good student, learn your magic, learn the broom riding.
Learn the magic, learn the
go
magic.
To potion. Learn the magic, go to potions class. So it feels like there's going to be this balance, or at least it feels like there might be this balance between doing the school stuff as well as doing regular stuff, because the game is as you attend classes, you'll learn magics throughout the school year, which will make you a better a better wizard and stuff like that, because maybe you'll learn a new attack spell and maybe your defense against the dark arts class, or maybe you'll learn some new potion you can use during a fight in potions class or something like that. So there does feel like they're trying to strike this balance between your role as a student and your role as the protagonist of this crazy story. Which I do feel like Persona, specifically Persona 5, is the only one I've really played, so I can't speak on the others. really does a very good job of striking that balance. Admittedly, there's a whole time clock going on there that you have to manage with Persona as well, but they, regardless of the time thing, they do a pretty good job of it.
Yeah.
So I want this to be Harry Potter Persona style. That would be really, really nice, but considering there's also companions you can get close to throughout the game and you can spend time with, and there's also reveals to be like it seems like as the school year progresses, weather will change. It'll go from like spring to summer to winter, and there'll be some it feels like they're hinting at a dynamic weather system, which would be kind of interesting.
Yes. It'll
and again, it will be very nice to see, especially like I said, the whole press conference was fairly long, pretty lengthy, showed us actual gameplay, like what it will be like, flushed out some of the details that they're playing with, and gave us a release date, which was nebulous holiday 2022. So this year is when they're hoping to release it. And for those who don't know corporatese, holiday usually translates to August, maybe, typically November, December at the latest. That's usually the 3-month window it falls into. Typically the latter two than the first, so
there's that.
Expect to get this as a Christmas gift at best. Which is a really interesting statement, because like I said, this is showing some pretty interesting stuff. I sent the press conference to you, Justin. What did you think of it, or did you not watch it?
I watched some of it. It's interesting.
Not the biggest Harry Potter fan, is he? But
no, I'm honestly not. But I've seen the movies and I've read some of the books, and it's got an interesting.
More than me, at least.
Yeah, it's like it's got a good world to it and everything, but it's just it's not my fancy. But
fair enough.
But
I always
I would say they've definitely got some ambition, to say the least.
Well, let's just separate the whole Harry Potter aspect. What do you think of the game just as it looks at the moment? Just separating the fact that it's a Harry Potter game.
The way it looks and some of the basic like gameplay mechanics are definitely something that seems like they're trying to work hard onto making sure everything runs nicely. Everything's got a nice dynamic feel to it for you. So it honestly does feel like they're doing a good job there so far. So we'll see how it all continues to play out, because we get that kind of thing a lot, and then when it actually releases, something goes wrong. So
yeah, well,
in fairness, I'll hold my pessimism for now.
Well, like I said, we're less than a year from release, so at least it's not like 2023 release or something like that. They did at least release it, or at least announce the release date. I don't want to say relatively soon, because relatively soon would be like in 2 to 3 months, which has happened before, where they're like, oh, releases in like 2 months or 3 months, where instead it's like at the end of the year. So at least within the same year window, which is at least not bad.
No, it's
but
not bad.
Interestingly enough, if you remember all the way back to the early years of the PS5 and the press conference that came out revealing Hogwarts Legacy, it showed the game's rendered in-engine cutscenes as much more higher graphic, higher res, and stuff like that. Now, this might be that they're polishing up and that the PS5 version will look as the old reveal trailer did look, or they actually downgraded the graphics a little bit due to the fact that they're now tweaking it so it'll be... It might be possible... It was possible that they planned this purely for the PS5 originally, but I guess Sony was a little underestimating the amount of PS5s that would be out in the wild at this point.
Yeah.
Or perhaps overestimated the amount that would be there. So now they're like, well, shit, there's not enough PS5s in the wild to justify a purely PS5 release, so we'll make it for PS4 as well, which means we have to make it to the lowest common denominator, which is usually how console games work, where they have to make the game runnable to the lowest common denominator, which means depending on how low that denominator is will depend on the baseline they have to run with. So that will greatly limit the amount of like improvements they can make to a game. Like the PS5 has the power to run very high resolution or very high frame rate. Plus, it's got a very quick processor, which allows it to do a lot of seamless stuff. We kind of saw that with Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart,
Yeah.
where you could literally hop levels instantaneously without load times. I remember playing that. That was really fun.
Yeah.
A
So.
fun way to use both a tech demo and a game, but
Yeah. No, I would say it's got it's
I
got
guess
a lot going.
I guess they decided to play for PS4 as well, so that
Mhm.
could explain the reason the graphics have been toned down a bit, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. But I mean,
But who knows?
it is kind of to be accepted kind of in a way, because not everyone's going to have the newest console, and with how things have been going for a little while for the new console releases, it's
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
it's not too hard to see why they're kind of
It's not
halting that.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. I'm not sitting here saying it's like unexpected or
It's like
shocking or surprising. It's very easy to
unacceptable.
I'm just disappointed about it, but I can understand the reasoning. Like it's
Yeah.
they probably overestimated how many consoles will be out in the wild at this point between scalpers and everything. Like I remember watching a YouTube video a few days back of some guys I just stumbled upon where they're like, yeah, we're holding off until more PS5s can be bought, officially speaking, for me to buy one instead of like giving money to a scalper, which in both of my case, well, no, I bought my PS5 legitimately. My Xbox, I did not. But anyways,
Mhm.
but yeah, no, I can understand that mentality. So it might be a while wait before we actually see like a lot of PS5s and Xboxes by extension on the market that you can get legitimately still, because
You know.
scalpers are still buying them up in bulk. At this point, it's going to be funny when, ironically, back to the guys I saw beforehand, they were like, when this eventually does get ironed out, we're going to have a bunch of scalpers with tons of PS5s that they won't be able to sell off because now people can just get them regular.
Yep.
Unless they intend to constantly keep the demand low by buying all of them out, which, I mean, is possible, but
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe. Let's not think about that because that is a nightmare scenario.
Later.
But anyways, it's a pretty interesting story, though. We did get more about the actual, speaking of story, we did get more about the actual game story itself. We did know that it would be set during, we did know that it would be set with you as a protagonist, you as a student, as the in the world of Harry Potter, you now arriving at Hogwarts as a new student. But we actually kind of get more behind what that exactly entails. Turns out, you are a new student that is arriving is a 5th year, but here's the thing. You did not go through the other 4 years. They did not explain why that is, probably because that's crucial to the plot, which makes sense. So basically, you've been fast-tracked to the 5th year along with other 5th years, but you do not have the education of the last 4 years. So your professors have engineered, courses to help you get, extracurriculars to help you get caught up and stuff like that. They revealed that the actual time frame of the game would be during the 1800s instead of what we've seen, which is the 20th century.
Well,
And
no, I would
the
say
1900s.
most Harry Potter world content was around
It's
the
been like
20th to
1900s.
the 19th.
It's like being 19
19th.
somethings on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen like 1920 and onward. So
yeah, it's been around that time period.
which is weird because in the press conference they're like, we're aware we've seen the world in the 19th century, and it's like, no, we've seen it mostly in the 20th century. Like we've seen pre-World War One and Two. We've seen the actual. I actually looked this up after watching the press conference because I was confused where exactly Harry Potter itself fit in canonically on the timeline.
Mm.
Turns out it actually takes place during 1991, like the first Harry Potter movie, to 1998 for the final movie. So that explains why there's still like a bit of older technology running around.
I mean, yeah.
Despite they're on the cusp of modernization.
Yes.
So, and the new Fantastic... I mean, yeah. And the Fantastic Beasts series takes place in the 1920s, I believe. 1920s, 1930s, something like that. So, yeah, no, I believe it's the 1920s. So we haven't seen the 1900s, so I'm not sure where that line came from. That might have been a mispronunciation or something. I'm not sure. But this will be taking us all the way back to the 1800s. For those who aren't aware, the 1800s, and
It's up to
This is actually kind of
20.
funny. This is actually kind of funny because 1800, 1900, the 100th timestamp is a little misleading because you'd think 1900 would take place from 1901 to 2000. Wrong. It actually takes place from 1800 to 1901. That is the 19th century.
Yes.
So basically, if you ever hear blank century, for those who are unaware, just think of the year before the mentioned year. So 19th century would be 18 something to 19. 17th would be 16 to, 17th. Basically, you're starting on the century before that one and going into that one. It's a little complicated, but anyways. Yeah. History lesson aside, or I'm not even sure if that's a history lesson, just way of judging the calendar lesson aside. Yeah,
Calendaration aside.
Calendar lesson aside, or timeline lesson aside. That basically means that this story takes place. They mentioned that it's in the late 1800s too. So this is somewhere in the late 17 something. Maybe 1789, something like that. Which, for those who aren't aware, is basically founding like founding era of the United States kind of timeline here. This is like Benjamin Franklin era.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of timeline we're working on here. So basically this is the timeline where people were still running around with muskets, still going around with toupees and white wigs and going, "Ho, good sir.
I challenge ye to duel."
Yeah. People were still going around with strange shoes and white wigs and way too much makeup. So that's the kind of timeline we're working with here. So it'll be interesting. People still running around with top hats. Which, hey, I like top hats, so I'm not going to judge that one. And they revealed that there's the whole backdrop of this story is... there's the whole threat of a goblin rebellion, which seems to be the backdrop of the story, led by a powerful goblin who I don't even remember the name of. But
I'm sorry, I don't know your name, young one.
I'm sorry, sir.
Speech.
I'm sorry, goblin sir. I do not remember your name. How dare you not remember my name?
I tell you what. You give you a good roughing there, governor. Tell you what, you better know my name next time.
Honestly, that'd be funny. That will be really, really funny.
Just a cultured goblin just telling you off.
Oi, mate, just get back here. I'm gonna kick you right in the gizzard.
You tell you what, you better know my name next time.
Freaking Irish goblin. British or Irish goblin, I would laugh. Yes. But anyways, so there is that kind of backdrop of like this there's this potential goblin rebellion that's the backdrop of the story, but you'll also run into other, dark wizards who are taking advantage of the chaos of everything, which between Fantastic Beasts, Harry Potter, and everything else, run-of-the-mill wizards trying to destroy the world almost feels par for the course at this point. It's like, oh no, the world is in danger. Anyone who's lived for like more than 100 years in the Harry Potter timeline would probably respond with, when has the wizarding world ever not been in danger by some mad lunatic?
No, it's just you have this high-ranking wizard just taking a sip of a drink, just...
Yeah, that's business as usual.
Yeah, then. The hero will come soon enough. Someone else will solve our problems soon enough for us.
Sir, there's a new wizard trying to destroy all the wizarding world. Yeah, well, what else is new?
Yes, but what about the Super Bowl?
What about the Super Bowl? Do they have that yet? I saw my crystal bowl. They would eventually have that. No, sir, that's not for another 100 years. God damn it. But how's that Quidditch Cup? Who won the last Quidditch Cup then?
Who won the last Quidditch match 3 weeks ago? Who was that young fellow who won it?
Honestly, people are like I think it was like Angry Joe over at like Angry Joe Show who was like, It would be interesting if they had like mini games as well in the game, like Wizard Chess, or you could play like Quidditch. That would be funny.
Yeah, that
Join
would
the
be.
extracurricular team. I mean, they have confirmed that that there is broom riding, and that is a way for you to. They're like that. It is I don't know if it's optional, but they're like you can learn it at some point in the game to allow you to get around the world faster. And they're actually pretty impressive scenes, like with the broom. So I imagine there will be some pretty beautiful scenery we'll get out of that.
There you go.
So if you ever wanted to ride a broom in a game, here's your chance.
Yes.
Honestly, I remember like the old, early 2000s Harry Potter games. That was interesting.
Interesting to say.
I always wanted a game like this. And interestingly enough, they're bringing in the Room of Requirement. It's some of the things they did with Fantastic Beasts. So you've got like a menagerie of like beasts you can like nurse back to health, and you can grow plants to use for your potions and stuff like that. It's interesting, and they're introducing some kind of like skill tree too. So it feels like this will be a pretty interesting story.
Mm-mm.
Plus, you get to like have companions that you can choose to get close to through like optional quests, and then you can take them with you on like your adventures and stuff like that, and as fighting companions. And it'll be interesting too, like the different potential dialogues that'll come out of that.
Companion, fight for me. Yes, master.
I imagine it'll be interesting to like have different like. That's one possible route of replayability, to have like potentially different companions with you in different story sequences, and if that like triggers different dialogue. Like someone from Slytherin would be like, "Ah, where the heck were you?" Or it's like Hufflepuff was like, "Ah, there you are," or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, but it'll be interesting to see. Maybe. Plus, there's a whole. There's also, they alluded to the possibility of them teaching of like if you get close enough to companions, they'll maybe teach you unique spells that they themselves know.
Ah, yes.
Like maybe the one girl that we saw in the trailer who's like close to animals, maybe she'll teach you a spell that has to do with like beast whispering.
I'm going to teach you to tame this thing. All right.
To
First
honestly, that would be
step,
interesting.
put your hand on its head. Ah, yes. So how to train your dragon? What? What do you mean? Train a dragon? What are you talking about? This isn't a dragon. This is just a tiny wolf. Yes.
This is
how
a
you
wolf,
train your
not a
dragon.
Oh
Ah,
my
yes.
god.
Train your dragon.
Honestly, that would
reference.
be really cool though. They have confirmed dragons are in the game and that you will fight dragons, but I'm not sure anything else that come from that. Maybe you'll like, I don't know. It would be interesting if you could like freaking interact with dragons beyond that though. That'd be kind of fun.
I mean, there's dragons within the universe, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. See my pet guard dog, Scales. But it'll be interesting. They have confirmed that you'll be like Hogwarts will be where the game is centered, but you'll be going around and into different areas. So, into the Forbidden Forest and what's beyond that. So you'll be able to explore not only Hogwarts, but the countryside around Hogwarts.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be able to run into like random people who will have their own stories and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see what that comes with. And again, if they are kind of like playing up the idea of like your own character, like I said, they hinted to the idea of like if you get close enough to certain companions, maybe they'll teach you magic spells that only they know, or like potions only they know.
Yeah.
If maybe you like get close enough to certain random characters, and they'll teach you like, here's how to do this, random spell that will, I don't know, turn your enemy into a toad. I don't fucking know.
I don't know what to do for you, child. I can't help you all the time.
Magical Toadicus. I don't fucking know.
Forget it.
But kill me later. I'm not sure why I had to quote that, but I felt like that was appropriate at this current junction. But anyways,
kill me later.
honestly, that was you just open up like a wizard cabinet and you just see like the head of like something, and it's like kill me later.
Later.
For anyone who gets that reference, but
yes, old video game reference. Yes.
showing our age again here. But
Old I am. Yes.
old I am. Yeah, I freaking got hair loss, so yeah, I'm certainly fitting the bill. But anyway, But yeah, it seems to be a very promising game. Like I said, outside of the little bit of a graphics downgrade, it looks really exciting. I'm excited to play it. And there certainly is interesting bits to it. The Room of Requirement is coming back in. And you get your own little menagerie where you get to, like, walk in, you get to, like, a customizable space, build cottages and stuff like that.
There you go.
I can't help but think of that scene from, like, the Fantastic Beasts where he, like, walks into his suitcase and it's like an entire, like, freaking greenhouse he's carrying with him.
Yes.
So that'll be interesting to see.
It will be.
And the kind of dynamic that'll... They did allude to the idea that, like, you have the power of magic that, like, ancient magic that even your professors don't know about. And they did name drop, like, Merlin. And the possibility of, like, running into puzzles that were made by Merlin when he was a student at Hogwarts. So maybe the ancient magic that you have might be tangentially related to Merlin. That'd be kind of interesting.
It will be.
Have some ancient Merlin magic.
Oh, there you go.
So it looks promising. It is interesting. Like I said, it is interesting also the fact that Sony developed an entire press conference in the form of a state of play to just this one game, like 28-minute press conference. Especially considering that they'd only done a press conference for a regular state of play for, like, regular games. Just your typical state of play, not even less than a week prior. So the fact that they devoted that much time to one game either shows you that they have a lot of faith in this one and that they've got a lot of chips riding on this one, which means that the game might be better because it might have more funding. I don't know. I'm just guesstimating.
Yep.
Or that they are really desperate. But then again, they had a lot of other games that were... Well, then again, most of the games that came out in their previous state of play, like I said, less than a week prior, were late 2021, some in the next few months, but most of them were late 2022, or said 2021, 2022, late 2022, going into 2023, like spring or summer. So they might be riding on this one to kind of like pick up the slack. Yeah. And hopefully keep the count and keep people entertained until 2023, when a good chunk of games they revealed will actually come out.
Yeah.
But regardless, this one does seem promising. I'm excited to play it. I certainly will be playing it because I like the Harry Potter franchise. I like where this is going. And like I said, I really want this to be Persona, like Harry Potter style, or Harry Potter Persona Edition, or
Potter, explain yourself.
Persona Harry Persona Harry Potter Edition. I mean,
yes.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
I'm a what? Oh my god. But man, freaking learning the kill curse, that'll be interesting.
Yes.
Back up! I have a magic stick.
I have a stick, and I'm not afraid to use it.
Go after someone. I have a magic stick. It's a little unfortunate though that they're only taking around the areas of like around Hogwarts, like Hogsmeade and stuff like that. I was hoping. Well, then again, this is the 1800s, so Diagon Alley might not even exist at this time. I'm not sure. This is like the late 1800s, so like I said, bunch of powdered wigs and people with way too much makeup.
Yeah.
If you remember your old history textbooks of like early American colonization and like George Washington era, yeah, we're talking that kind of time. So, Diagon Alley might not even exist at this point, which is a little unfortunate, but oh well.
What can you do?
Yeah, at least Hogsmeade exists, so we'll get to see some level of civilization. Maybe there will be shops there we can buy stuff. It'll be interesting to see what kind of currency we use in the game. They did also reveal outfits you could switch to, which do appear purchasable, not by microtransactions. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Just in case. This game doesn't feel like this game doesn't feel like it will lend itself to microtransactions outside maybe a few like purchases to speed up plant growth, but nowadays people will monetize just about anything, so it's hard to tell. There are a few things they could. I hope they don't.
We'll see.
But we'll see.
We will
see.
definitely be seeing.
I mean, man, I just want to dress up my character in like freaking giant ass hat.
Yeah.
Where's that giant top hat so I can dress my character in? Walk around like a refined Englishman.
Yes.
Also, it'll be interesting to. Also, since this is the 1800s, this is a side point of mine, but considering this is the 1800s, will there be any level of racism? Because remember, Hogwarts is in Europe. Europe at the 1800s still had slavery. So, this might get us demonetized for just saying it, but I will be interested to see if there's any like hints to like gender or not. Well, yeah, probably gender discrimination too, but racial discrimination for it, because you can make your character any skin tone. Plus, there will be characters of different skin tones, so it'll be interesting to see if that reflects.
Yes.
Because their whole shtick here is like flushing out like the 1800s and like eras of the wizarding world we haven't seen yet. And like I said, this was prime like colonizational time, so still ripe with slavery. We're just coming out of the age of exploration, so
what?
We will see if that comes into play.
What wonders have you brought for me today, Guardian?
What the heck did that come from?
What wonders have you brought for me today, Guardian?
Oh boy. Anyways. Yes, Rahul is now in frickin'...
Rahul will teach you the ways of wizardry.
Rahul
the
and
wizard.
Rahul and Harry Potter. Oh god.
Your mysteries are soon to be discovered.
You're a wizard, Rahul. I'm a what?
This does not
Zavala
matter. Do not taunt me with the ways of the darkness.
Zavala the wizard. That would be interesting.
More dangerous of them all.
I mean, Ikora technically already is space magic, but
Grand Wizard.
Anyways, like I said, it'll be interesting to see if that comes into play.
Yeah.
There's introduction of, outside of the Goblin Rebellion, a top hat kind of villain, so we might see him play into things. I don't know, it looks, like I said, we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see what they do with it, kind of flush out the timelines, or flush out the rest of the timeline. They're like, they're like designing the other like rooms of... That's another aspect to the kind of game's possible replayability, because like you'll get to pick your you'll possibly either get to pick your house, or maybe you'll answer a questionnaire and that'll decide which house you go into. And it's like they're designing like the corridors of Hogwarts and like the other rooms to other what was it called? The other, I want to say factions. What is it? Frickin' oh my goodness. What are those like? What are the like houses? I think they're called. Like the house common rooms. So it'll be interesting to see where the like what they choose for like. I imagine maybe like the Slytherin common room would be like a bunch of posh like high class stuff.
Yeah.
So that'll probably add another aspect of replayability, like picking different choices. So,
that's
a little bit of possible replayability there.
Yeah, that's certainly something.
It'll be interesting to see what they use for currency. What do they pay school children in? I don't frickin' know. I remember my high school days. I didn't have frickin' jack, but anyway.
I didn't have much to begin with, but now I do. Are you sure about that? No.
Will you Sir, will you take 10 shillings for the frog's legs? What are you going to use these frog's legs for? A potion, sir, a potion.
Potion.
They say you'll also be like harvesting and crafting. Speaking of potions, on another note, they said there'll also be mechanics for you'll either get to buy or grow or harvest your own potion materials and stuff like that. So you can either grow potion materials in the room or requirement, or you can just go out in the world and find them yourself, which will be kind of interesting. Go out into like the dark forest to scrounge for like glowing berries or some shit to put in like a magic potion. Where are those mushrooms? I need the mushrooms.
What are they?
Uh,
I need my mushrooms.
I need the mushrooms. It's only 6 a.m. No, not those kinds of mushrooms.
Don't worry about it. We'll get there soon enough.
I'll get there soon enough. Oh my goodness. So, between, possible animal care, potion growing, broom riding, what else? I mean, like, I don't know, maybe I want to ride a dragon. I want to see if we can do that in game. But the potential for mini games, like I said, Angry Joe brought up the possibility of maybe they might include wizard chess. I say the possibility of mini games because we're seeing that a little more in games these days. I know in Horizon Zero Dawn there is actually an entire sub mini game they've brought into the game that is kind of prolific throughout the thing, which is called Machine Strike.
Yeah.
I know in Assassin's Creed Valhalla there's something similar. Olog. Red Dead Redemption is known for its side minigames. Funny fact, I actually learned poker by playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, it's strange.
It's a strange world we live in.
So we're seeing minigames become more and more prevalent in games. I mean, since games are getting bigger and they're more powerful, they can incorporate other subsystems to them. So, and a game like this would certainly lend itself to that kind of like side aspect of side minigames.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that kind of in Persona as well, but that kind of is just like the social aspect of the game though, so that'd be kind of funny, inviting your companion to like play wizard chess with you or something.
You want to play chess?
Or whatever want to play chess, honestly. Or whatever the heck that would be. I wonder if there will be like any romance options. That is actually something I never considered up until this very second. That is a possibility, depending on what gender of characters you pick. Because we know you'll be able to pick companions from like both sides of the spectrum.
Yes.
And going back to like Persona, I'm also aware that there are romance options in Persona you can play with as well, so maybe we'll see that as well.
We will see.
We will see. It will be interesting.
Nonetheless, interesting it shall be.
Mm-hmm. So, all in all, that are at least my impressions on the thing. Justin, I feel like I can say doesn't have much of an opinion on it because he's more of a PC player.
I'm not a big fan of those kinds of games to begin with. Those are like really far away. Like top-down RPG, top-down like resource army management, maybe Stellaris, like what I'm playing at the moment. Those kinds of games I like, but Persona-like games are kind of just like, it's okay. It's not bad.
I live my own life. I don't have time to manage somebody else's.
Yeah. I'd rather manage thousands of lives all at once.
We have a game for that. It's called
the army
Sim.
management king.
We have a game for that. It's called Sim.
Ah, yes. But I'm talking about the extreme version. Things like
the Sim version where you trap all of your players in the pool and then remove the ladder.
Challenge mode. All of you will do the exact same thing non-stop. You will not eat, you will not go to the washroom. Work! Work, monkey, work!
Was that like in last Game It Out where you like trapped everyone in like a room?
I don't know what it was. A lot of people have done like little challenges with their sims. It's like, which sim can last the longest in which situation? Oh god. Torture.mp4.
Can I just lure them into the pool and just take away the ladder and see if they'll be able to climb out? Oh, nope, no, they can't. And he just drowned. Okay, then.
Yes, they're all gone. What a wondrous experiment.
What a wondrous experiment.
We have learned so much today, haven't we?
I honestly enjoy those kinds of games, the kind of like life management games. I really got into them, like I said, with Persona. That really did, like I said, strike the balance between like actual learning and like your managing of your life as a student and your managing of your life as like the game's protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And funny fact, in Persona, there's also sections where you legitimately go to school and they teach you real world things.
Yes.
And I enjoyed it. I did not enjoy learning about things in high school, and yet here I am in a virtual high school learning about things, enjoying myself.
I'm
That felt
enjoying
weird. That
school.
felt.
What is this? People
I
making
don't even.
school good, entertaining, and actually educational? Who are you?
I don't even find college entertaining. So, yikes.
I must suffer.
Honestly, I'll play Persona 5, and I'm just like, or any other like game that's set in a high school, and I'm like, man, I wish my high school experience was at least half this entertaining,
Yes.
or half this eventful. I would have loved it, man. That freaking memories of a lifetime right there. But oh well.
And what can you do? You can't go back on it now.
Yeah, honestly. But I'll live vicariously through these protagonists.
Yes.
But anyways, so
Like
that
the Japanese do. We make proper happy memories through literally any media. Because your life is going to be going on without you. You must keep going
Right.
and preserve yourself forward.
that feels like the punchline to a joke. Why are the Japanese so much into video games, anime, and manga? I don't know why. Well, why else would they be? They love to live vicariously.
They love to live their
all of their
lives, but they are unable to because they must work, otherwise nothing gets done.
They know they must work constantly, so they create all of these protagonists and all these stories so they can live vicariously.
Yes.
Feels like the punchline to a joke, but anyway.
Just sadness. It's just sadness.
They know they'll work themselves hard, so they create protagonists so they may live vicariously.
They want to live a better life. I don't disagree. I agree full-heartedly with their decision. Better life is good life.
But anyways, how long have we been going for the recording? Because I'm trying to
We're
make
about
these shorter.
50 minutes.
50 minutes. That's a nice place to be at.
Yeah,
I'll talk
and
for maybe another.
I mean, I would say we've made the major points that we wanted to make here, which is it's interesting to see that they decided to go and bring out like an entire secondary part of their event just for one major game, kind of. So
They don't do this often.
Yeah, they're putting their eggs in one basket with it. So we'll see where it goes.
Certainly shows you they feel good about this game, and if Sony feels good about this game, I should feel good about this game, I should think. Because if a company thinks it'll be successful, then there's at least some cause to think it'll be successful.
Hopefully.
Either that or it'll be monetized hell and back. But, you know.
And what is it nowadays?
There are admittedly a few sections. A few sections. My throat is dry, and so my tongue is getting tongue-tied here.
The tongue-tied.
But there are, like I said, a few sections I can see being monetized. Like I said, there are areas that look like they might be usable for time savers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there might be a premium currency. I don't see how they'd implement it though. Like there's costumes, like they said, you can buy for your character in game, or like clothes you can buy in game. But I feel like that's something you just buy with in-game currency. Whatever the heck they're paying school children of Hogwarts those days, I'm not sure. What would the 18th century currency be? Shillings? I'm not sure.
Yes.
That'll be 20 magical shillings. What's the difference between a regular shilling and a magical shilling? A magical shilling sings to you in B flat.
Yes.
Why sings and why in B flat? I don't know. I didn't make the frickin' currency. But
What can you do?
that'll be interesting. Like I said.
And we'll see. We'll see where it goes. It's certainly going up, and it's setting itself up to do well. So hopefully it does. Hopefully it does.
Hopefully it does. Like I said, I will certainly be playing it because it looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always kind of wanted a game like this in the Harry Potter universe. Like I said, I want this to be Persona 5 Harry Potter edition, or Persona Harry Potter edition. So, and I hope they do, because I think, like I said, there's a lot of good a lot of good examples they can draw for that. Like I said, if they're trying to get a game that strikes a good balance between life as a student and life as a protagonist, which, like I said, is kind of the focal point they kind of are playing with the game, with you like trying to catch up to your like 5th years and attending the classes of your professors. And as you do, you learn more information and spells and stuff like that you can use as your time as a protagonist. So kind of that idea of like, if you better yourself, you will become a better protagonist, which you can use in things like combat. Because it turns out if you go to potions class, you can make some potions, which you can use to make yourself stronger in combat. Ha ha ha! Like a healing potion. Lesson 1, how to make a healing potion. That'll be a very useful thing.
Yes.
But, we'll see, like I said.
Yep. We certainly
Guess that brings us to the end of it. Like
Yep.
you said, they're all putting their eggs in this basket, so
We'll see how it pays out for them. All right. Well, hopefully you all enjoyed. Got a little bit of news out of what's going on for this week and a little bit of last week. And we'll be seeing you in the next one.
Yep, part 2 to our last week's special, covering this, a little bit of the Bungie stuff, and our opinion, or perhaps I should say my opinion. Like I said, our dear editor is kind of neutral on the stance. But
I'm neutral with the game. The game, for a video game, it looks like a good game. For a video game. But it's just not my thing, so I'm not going to have much of a further opinion on that.
Fair enough.
It's not my kind of game, so I'm not going to go any further than that.
Not his genre, not his problem. So
Nope. I will leave it for the people who do enjoy those kinds of games.
The weeb over here.
Insert weeb noises.
All our brothers and sisters, please stand and sing our national anthem. Oh, Eneko.
Demon noises begin to intensify. All right. Well, like it is.
But anyways,
we'll see you.
We'll see you in the next one, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week. Good night.